This person is taking a long, hard look at themselves with this energy of triumph and is recognizing the toll that past heartbreaks has created upon them in terms of a deep connection that they feel with you, everything feeling right, everything going right, all the signs and synchronicities pointing to this being the connection for them at this particular point in time that is going to lead to victory and success. And yet they have second guessed things somewhere along the way. Triggers have surfaced, old wounds have been opened up, fears that they may even define at this point as like irrational fears because you are so different from everything about somebody or several somebodies that they were dealing with in the past that had created like massive heartbreak, huge life lessons that they needed to recover from, that this person prior to meeting you made a vow to themselves. I'm never going to put myself in that kind of situation again. I'm going to choose better. I'm going to do better. Like they've made a very concerted effort to direct their life in the totally opposite direction and have been successful in that capacity. And they've magnetized in this opportunity with you. And you are a beautiful blessing. Everything about this connection so far speaks to this being a love story that will have a happy ending, that will be a very different experience than what they're used to. But those old wounds, those ghosts of the past, have risen, have reared their ugly heads, and have caused this person to really take into account the fact that certain things that they were put through or that they put themselves through based on who they allowed into their life, red flags they had overlooked, maybe even things that they did that caused certain reactions in other people in the past, toxic relationships, karmic relationships, low vibrational relationships. Time has passed, those wounds have healed at the surface, but there's still that undercurrent deep within the psyche, deep within the shadow, deep within the subconscious of this person that they are recognizing they need to fight as like the biggest challenge at this point in time so that they don't miss the opportunity with you or give you a poor experience of love and romance based on these residual hurts, these wounds, these shaping experiences that in some sort of way they are recognizing still are having an effect upon them at this point in time. So it feels like for a lot of you that are resonating with this energy so far, somebody has kind of like taken a step back from this connection, like not ghosted, not fully run away, but it's almost like their energy feels to have been directed elsewhere. This is somebody that may be very kind of brief in their communications with you, or, it might even have kind of like worked out ironically where you have certain things going on in like your material life. They have other things going on in their material life as well at this time where there's not a whole lot of time to spend with one another or communicate with one another, like in the lengthy ways or the in-depth ways that you have up to this point in time. And beyond those surface level circumstances, this is somebody that is also doing a lot behind the scenes in order to not let those fears win, not let those wounds sabotage the possibilities between the two of you, capsize this beautiful and sheltering experience that they've had with you so far. Logically, this is somebody that sees you're everything that they are looking for and more. You are more than what they prayed for. You are somebody that is a very positive influence in their life. You bring a very high vibrational experience of love and romance and partnership, or at least the potential for that. If you're not at that phase where, you're telling each other that you love each other yet, like this is something that they see that happening. They see things developing to that, but they need to kind of fight this beast that has sort of risen up inside of them, which are these old fears, these old triggers, these old wounds, flashbacks to like past situations that their logical mind knows has no relevance, no bearing at all on what is happening. You are not the type of person, that they need to fear a repetition of like past cycles with. You are instead the product of this person's efforts, it feels like for a while, to choose better for themselves. So they do have like the upper hand as far as these wounds are concerned because they know the origin point of that. This is somebody that is trying to exorcise those ghosts from the past in order to kind of extract the power that those poor experiences from before still are like having upon them at this present point in time. This is somebody that is trying to kind of like deal with those wounds inside that have freshly opened up once again, not by anything that you've done wrong, but in fact that everything is like going right between the two of you. And this person has a very sharp eye, a very sharp attention to detail, where they are able to see that this is not something that is a signal or an indicator to them that they're in the wrong connection with you, that they should run away or take a step back, or, take that as a sign maybe from the universe to avoid a pitfall in this situation. They are instead seeing it as something that is very intrusive, something that is on their side of the equation, which they need to deal with. All they're asking from you, and maybe this is somebody who's directly asked you, like, I need you to be patient with me. I got some things I need to figure out. I need to take some time to think about things. Or this is something where, again, like your material circumstances have provided like the perfect opportunity where you both are tending to different things in your lives. You both have like different things going on at this point where there's not so much time in the day to like spend with one another, or, have interactions with one another. And so in the midst of that, whatever it is that they are tending to or dealing with in the material world, those energies of like the mental energies, the emotional energies, a lot of that is focused during maybe like busy work or downtime that they have on sort of picking apart, why all of a sudden am I fearful? Why all of a sudden am I having these kind of like flashbacks or these memories to like negative past experiences? Why are these things from the past kind of like being dredged up? And they have also come up with the solution to that. They're questioning, but they also have the answer, which is that they need to kind of like face these things one last time in order to release the grip, this kind of last little bit of power that past circumstances had upon them, so that they can be triumphant, so they can be fully present in the moment with you, so that steps taken forward can be in a very beautiful and successful direction without this person having to kind of like bring all that baggage and the residual wounds from the past along with them, in as kind of like prominent of a way as they have done up to this point in time. We also have accelerated motion. Yeah, so it feels like this is somebody who, again, is like doing some deep diving, doing some deep shadow work at this particular point in time. They want to rise to the occasion alongside you of having like a very high vibrational, a beautiful experience in love. And they understand that in order to do that, they need to kind of like let loose some of this baggage. Some of these people have like called these shadows up from deep inside. They have intentionally sort of like looked back at past relationships, what worked and what didn't. What do they need to face? What do they need to kind of close out as far as like energetic cycles or things that they might have even ruminated about from the past that had been like part of their present experience prior to connecting with you? Thinking about the past, thinking about the things they couldn't change, things that they regret, things that pissed them off, things that were very unfair. Like it's just kind of been like a broken record sort of cycling around in their mind, in addition to things going on that are relevant in the here and now and like dreams for the future. This is somebody that recognizes they need to offload those broken record experiences in order to create kind of like the degree of presence inside of themselves to not miss out on the blessing with you. It feels like this is the kind of thing that this person wants to take care of quietly. They're not going to want to like open up and share a whole lot of this with you. A lot of this may involve like painful memories, embarrassing experiences of the past, a lot of shame or guilt that they have like carried around that they understand does not serve kind of the experience that they can have with you moving forward. This is somebody who's done a lot of work to like close out from past cycles, release past versions of themselves. Who they are today is nothing like who they were when they were involved in certain things, that created a lot of tragedy emotionally for them. They're not the same person that might have like, done others wrong and kind of like created a trail of heartbreak. This is somebody who has, balanced out the karmic scales for themselves. And in order to fully step into the blessing of this experience with you, it does require that last look at the experiences of the past that are coming up without them wanting to. And in some cases that they're calling this up from like the void space within. They're summoning these things from like deep within the subconscious in order to disempower those painful memories so that they don't accidentally kind of like replay the scenarios with you, or in some cases, kind of are hesitant to be fully present, fully receptive, fully engaged with you, because a part of them would be sort of like held back, like one foot in the past, one foot in that energy of like fearfulness or feeling that they're not worthy of beautiful experiences in love because of how tarnished the past in love was for them. So this is someone that again is like polishing up some aspects inside of themselves in order to kind of gift you a version of them that is fully present in the here and now, not looking at this connection and what can develop with the energy of skepticism or pessimism. This is somebody that wants to be very present and understand that whatever the past might have looked like for them romantically or emotionally, this is an opportunity here and now to have a very different kind of future, a better future, that if anything had worked out any differently with any of those past people, what that would have looked like. You are somebody that is a star in this person's eyes. You are very like top quality. This person recognizes that you are the result of a lot of hard work that they have done, like that they have even attracted someone like you into their reality, that you're giving this person the time of day at all, that they've come this far with you. They recognize that it's like if they hadn't broken certain habits or cycles, shed certain versions of themselves that they were operating as before, that you would be totally a misalignment with one another. And so in keeping with that, this is someone that also understands in order to secure that future with you, there is a need to kind of like release the hold that those like past memories, those ghosts of the past have upon them. They are doing that right now. They are silently kind of working on this, thinking about things, looking at things from a different perspective inside of themselves. And all of this is something that is an offering that they can make to the future with you, so that it is a version of them which is not fearful that steps forth, but a version of them that is triumphant and empowered. Yeah, we also have the universe. So this person sees that there is a lot of long-term potential between the two of you, but they also recognize that they need to like raise their vibration in order to continue to walk alongside you towards that future. And this doesn't require, it feels like, a whole lot of, making like external changes in their life in any sort of way. It feels like this is somebody who's pretty, aligned with a life that makes them happy, makes them satisfied. They feel really good about the choices they're making at this point. This is all an energetic process at this point that they are going through, something they are very consciously aware of. This is somebody who is not letting fear win. They are not letting those kind of like flashbacks, those memories, maybe even like heavy feelings, energy blocks that they've been holding in certain chakras that need to kind of be, felt in order to be healed. Like they say, you have to feel it to heal it. That's what this person is doing at this point in time. They may also be kind of like, sort of taking a step back from you because they're very emotional. Part of that process of release could be like, they're having to cry things out. They're having to just sort of like feel into anger, resentment. They're having to feel that full spectrum of experience in order to kind of like purge that from where it's just been sitting in their energetic body in these different chakras. This is also someone, it feels like for some of you, that is maybe like listening to solfeggios, maybe kind of like getting Reiki, doing different things as far as like energy is concerned to get themselves into a place of alignment, mind, body, and soul. Because an instinct within them that is kind of accompanied with some level of conscious awareness has clued this person into the fact that this is like a big opportunity to experience a very different kind of love and partnership with you than they've known in the past. And this is not something that it's like, oh, just random chance that they've like aligned with somebody that's better than anyone they've ever known, or through manipulation or trickery, they kind of just like weaseled their way into your life. This is something that this person recognizes. They're like looking back and they're seeing they had to make some tough choices. They had to do a lot of hard work to improve certain things about themselves, break certain habits and patterns, reshape their life in some sort of way, materially speaking, shed a version of themselves that they were operating as at a different point in time that had kind of contributed to or participated in or experience certain heartbreaks and disappointments in love or maybe even in life. And so it is this version of them, this kind of like phoenix from the ashes version of them, that has now called in this very like high vibrational, almost like a miraculous partnership. Like this person may be seeing you as like a miracle in their life. Thinking back on who they were, somebody like you would never have given this person the time of day at like an earlier chapter in their reality, maybe even just based on their mindset or how they were treating other people or how they were living their life. This could be things you're aware of or things that this person hasn't like shared with you yet about themselves. Maybe they won't tell you about these things. They'll kind of just like keep their past private and just be here with you in this moment in time. But whatever that looks like, this is somebody that really recognizes like this connection unfolding, deepening, blossoming into something more. It requires that kind of like subtle shift internally speaking. They are looking at like the stars having aligned in such a way that these fears surfacing, that this is like the perfect opportunity for them to face these things head on, to make that effort to get into like a better headspace, to get into a better energetic space, so that they don't fumble this, so that they don't bring all of that kind of like baggage and confusion and fear into this circumstance with you. This is somebody that wants to experience something very beautiful, and so they are taking some time to beautify that internal landscape so that you get a version of them which is confident, which is aligned, which is very certain that even, if you have tough days with one another, not everything goes well, at least they're not just kind of like unconsciously playing out those same patterns or, putting up boundaries against you that are the product of those kind of like residual energies, those fears, those wounds that even though time has healed them to some extent, still exist within this person. So this is somebody that's taken the time to like do that sort of internal maintenance on themselves. And it feels like you're going to experience a shift in that. You're going to know when this kind of like cycle or this phase is done for this person, because as your communication picks back up or as there's like efforts made towards you, it's going to come with more of almost like a consistency in their energy, more of an ability to give and give in a more intense way than they have before. And so that'll really be the signal to you that this person has successfully released some of those like energetic blocks, has successfully quieted some of those fears, has successfully like shed a version of themselves that might have even been in kind of the building stage in the aftermath of certain disappointments and heartbreaks. You are motivating this person to continue to stay the course in being very present, expecting the best in this circumstance, and really making an effort on their part quietly and internally to make sure that the outward material experience they're able to provide with you is also accompanied by something of a more kind of high vibrational nature that constitutes kind of their internal reality. So those are your messages. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. Like or comment to claim these energies. Subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more content that I put out here. Don't forget to hit the bell button to get notifications every time I post a new video. And if you'd like to book a personal reading with me, I offer those through my Etsy shop, and there's a link for that below. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well.